Jake Noecker here with Home of Fight and fresh off a massive win at UFC Qatar. Nicolas Dalby. Nicholas, how we doing?
Pretty good. It's always post fight is always a bit nicer and sweeter with a win.
All healthy, all good to go moving forward?
Yeah, no injuries at all. But I mean, that's what you get after hugging for 15 minutes.
Well, I mean, hey, a split decision. The win goes your way. When you're listening to that, a split decision, how nervous are you inside the octagon?
Can I swear?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Good, good. I was pretty fucking nervous because more or less a year and a half maybe, I fought a Russian Muslim in the Middle East
Yep.
and had a very, very close fight that I actually felt that I won. And the split decision went to my opponent. So, not that I'm assuming the circumstances would be the same, but the outcome, but it was kind of similar circumstances. So, yeah, I was a bit nervous.
And I've seen fans tweet things like, hey, Nicolas Dalby, very exciting, always comes back later in the fights, but you have a lot of decisions. Do you ever
Yeah.
feel a need to change that, find a finish, or you just do you, whatever happens, happens, a win's a win?
It depends. I feel like I've got a shit ton of decisions, but most of them are actually in my UFC fights.
Yeah.
So throughout my career, I've had a lot of finishes, especially in Cage Warriors. Um, and I think what I can say is I've reflected a bit the last year and over everything in my life, and for the most of my UFC fights, I've been in a weird position in my private life, and that has not enabled me to like fully live up to the potential I have.
Yeah.
I think the fans saw a bit of that for the Bonfim fight, which I finished. So it's always easy to say that it's because of the circumstances, but as far as I'm able to say, it's really had to do with a lot of noise in my private life, and yeah. It makes sense because when you're doing something high pressure, if you got like noise in your periphery and it kind of goes into your vision, yeah, it's gonna be difficult to perform.
And you were talking about this backstage after the win, too, just things going on in your personal life. Are you able to elaborate on any of that, or is that just all very private?
Yeah, well, I think my I've come to realize that my biggest fight is probably, or has been for a long time, the fight outside of the cage. Um, I've had a Yeah, I didn't grow up getting a lot of the tools that other people might have gotten in their upbringing, and I've just struggled to kind of find my place in life where I was with a partner where we had a good relationship, and there's just a lot of stuff in my private life that I allowed to get noisy because I didn't know better.
Yeah.
So, stuff like finances, stuff like relationships, significant others, all kinds of, ordinary life shit that I just wasn't able to make flow.
Is there any, I don't know, I guess light at the end of the tunnel with any of that? Is this like still ongoing, or are we figuring things out?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like I feel like this fight kind of symbolized the struggle, internal struggle I've been having the last year and a half. I've hit rock bottom, and but I pulled through at the final moment. Um, and it's kind of like the same with the fight. I allowed the fight to get tough because I've let things in my life get out of hand, but I managed to turn things around, and I just got the win on a split decision. But in that way, I feel like it symbolizes that I've hit rock bottom, and now the trajectory is pointing the right way.
And you can tell me to shut up. I won't be offended because I'm just curious as a person here. I know in the past you've been open about like alcohol and struggling with that. Has that been
Yeah.
anything recent too? Is that part of this rock bottom?
No, it hasn't. But in the same way as that was like a soothing mechanism, it was not. It was never the alcohol in and of itself.
Right.
Yeah. After my divorce, dating kind of became a soothing mechanism. So just yes, it wasn't the same, but the mechanism behind what allowed me to get out of balance was maybe kind of the same.
You guys are fighters, so a lot of fans, especially younger fans, they view you guys as like indestructible warriors, which I think in some cases you are. But you're also human beings. You're also normal men, normal women who go through everyday struggles. And not a lot of fans realize that because of the aura you guys have. So, what is that like to almost be like, I don't know, unheard for lack of better words?
Well, it is. Uh, I'll answer this way. We have a weird job where we only get to go fully to work maybe 2 times a year,
30 minutes
and
total a
it's
year.
exactly, and it's always under new circumstances. It's always a new opponent. It's always a new location. You're always a new place in life. Like there's so many unknowns,
Yeah,
and we go to work 2 times a day. Our pay gets decided on how well we perform those 2 days at work, and and then the whole world gets to follow. Like imagine going to work and the whole world is watching you.
yeah, I'm good.
Um, yeah, exactly right. And I think I can speak for a lot of fighters, but I'll speak for myself. When I got into fighting, I didn't do it to get publicity and be seen uh, be seen by people all over the world. I did it because I found it interesting to like an interesting way to challenge myself.
Right.
And then all of this like noise, if you can call it that, outside of the fight itself just came along with it. And yeah, it's fun and it's exciting, but also can be a bit distracting. And maybe there's also some, I don't know what the word should be, but maybe fighters aren't like it's not that common to talk about what goes on outside of fighting.
Sure.
And a part of that is maybe because you're doing something public is very vulnerable to share like your innermost feelings and struggles in life, which makes sense, like because then you got all the shitty comments and DMs and all stuff like that. So maybe it's also fine to not share everything in life,
Sure.
but there's so many things outside of fighting that goes on. Like as you said, we're just regular people as well. We might do something exceptional, but we also have a bad stomach. We also have to buy groceries at the supermarket. Like we also have divorces, shitty relationships, financial struggles, whatever.
Well, hey, I'm glad to hear this is hopefully on the mend and things are looking up. The performance looked that way, and honestly, you look like you're glowing right now. So, Nicholas, I know fans will appreciate you being honest about this, though. So, thank you for speaking on things that not everyone speaks on. And I want to flip scripts here a little bit.
Mhm.
I want to actually brighten the mood, and I know this is something you've talked about before, but I've never asked you about it, and I'm curious because in every one of your fights, the commentary, the fans, everybody's always wondering and talking about you going, what is this, Nicolas Dalby? I know it's a breathing technique, but explain this to me.
It's not a technique.
No?
It's just me breathing. And I guess I use like a double mouth guard, so it covers my top and bottom teeth, and then it has like vents
The little slit.
in the middle. Um, which I like using that because then I can bite down and still breathe. And when when I get a high heart rate, I need to get some oxygen in my system, and I guess I'm just maybe also more like subconsciously aware of getting that oxygen compared to other fighters. I don't know. It's not like a specific technique that I chose to use. It just kind of happened, and I don't give a fuck if if anyone is annoyed by it. I'm just doing the best I can in the octagon to make things work.
I
If
think
that
people
includes a bit of awkward breathing for people, whatever.
I think people are just curious more so than hating. But I can say I do train, not to your guys' level, but in a spar, when I'm tired, I definitely start the so I don't know, doing that through a whole fight, I guess it does help, correct?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm it's just me breathing, and maybe I do it a bit unusual, but yeah, that's me.
I had to ask. I was just curious
Yeah,
because
yeah, that's
I've heard
fine.
everything from breathing technique to just you being gassed out. So it's just how you breathe and it's just getting more oxygen in there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
And it works because most fights you come back very hard in rounds 2 and 3. So keep doing
Yeah.
that, Nicolas Dalby. Don't listen to these fans, okay?
No,
And
I'm not.
Nicholas, my next question: after a win, like, and you said you're all healthy, when do you
Mm.
want to get back in there? What's your timeline for return?
Not maybe as soon as possible. I'd like to just take a month of not training, but chilling a bit. As you can kind of sense, the last year and a half has been pretty exhausting privately. But I also perform the best when I get like fights continually. If too much time passes in between, I get a bit rusty. So, and plus, the clock is ticking. I'm not getting younger, so hopefully, maybe let's say something like March, April ish would be nice for me.
Well, I know March they're talking about coming back to UK or London.
Oh,
Could that work out?
yes. If it's well, yeah, not to be picky, but if it's at the end of the month, yeah, sure. Yeah, yeah.
I think they're looking at like March 21st, so that could work out great.
That would be mwah.
Now,
It's
are
been a
there
long time since I had a fight close to home. So it would be nice for like my people to not have to travel halfway around the world to watch me perform.
are there names? Are there opponents you're interested in, or anyone can get it? I don't know your mentality there.
I have not really looked at the roster. Like I could call out, you know, Madalena, but is
Sure.
that would that be sensible?
Maybe not
I
yet.
haven't really looked at the roster. I'd love to avenge my loss to Fakhretdinov, uh, because yeah, I don't feel that fight was decided in a fair way, and he was not fighting fair. He was fucking grabbing the gloves all the time. I hate that shit. But whatever. Like I'm here to have fun, and I'm not like that on a mission to avenge every single loss. But yeah, the last two losses I have, I'd love to those. It's the first time I felt that I would like to run those back.
I don't think fans
But
will complain about a Renat
yeah,
Fakhretdinov rematch. That was a good fight.
yeah, and the Brown fight, that could be fun as well.
Yeah.
He got so salty about me pointing out, pun intended, the eye poke thing.
Randy Brown did?
Uh, yeah, it was almost hilarious. Like he hadn't thought about it before. I guess he hadn't, but yeah.
Walk this down for me. Exactly what happened there.
Well, just in the lead up for the fight, we were actually genuinely concerned for my eyes because every single UFC fight he's had, he pokes people in the eyes.
Hmm.
Even in his last fight against Bonfim, he poked him
He
in
did.
the eyes before he got kneed in the head. So we just pointed it out. Also, to make the world and the refs and aware of it. But we were genuinely concerned. So maybe if we put some public pressure on him, he would, you know, change his ways. So that was just the reason for that.
Yeah.
Simply just to point it out that he was constantly fouling. maybe it wasn't intentional, but even if it wasn't intentional, if you end up fouling in every single UFC fight you have and you don't do anything to change it, then kind of by proxy, you're still intentionally doing it. You know what I mean? In
That
lack
makes
of
sense.
better words. So that was just it, and he got super salty about it. It was almost hilarious.
Well, hey, keep putting some salt on the wound. Maybe he'll want to run it back too. But I think those are great options for you, Nicholas. And
Yeah.
I'm curious too, because at 41 years old,
Mhm.
you look fresher than most 25-year-olds. So how long do you plan on fighting? Is retirement even a thought for you right now?
Yeah, it is. I think I had a knee injury last autumn. I was supposed to fight Eliseo dos Santos.
Hmm.
Um, had to pull out 3 weeks before the fight, and that's the first time I actually had to pull out from a fight ever because of an
Wow.
injury. And that, not that I consciously thought I was invincible, but that at least really taught me that I'm not indestructible and invincible.
Yeah.
And that made me think about, okay, what do I do outside of fighting? Because suddenly, I couldn't take that fight and get that paycheck. Um, and I am not getting younger while I feel fresh. I don't know, man. I'd love to. My next goal, sporting wise, is to become the Danish fighter with the most UFC fights.
Yeah. And I think you have to be 17, correct?
Yeah, if I get 17, then I'm on par with Martin Kampmann.
Right.
If I get to 18, then I took that record. Not I love Martin. I train with him not because I want to erase him from the
Right. Right.
history
Right.
books, but that's part of like my personal professional motivation of fighting. There's also an aspect of I love the lifestyle. I love being able to zero in on this date
Yeah.
and specific opponent and like go through that process of working out the puzzle of how do we exploit the weaknesses and strength and avoid the strengths, and how does that compare to me, and piece together that fight camp.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff I love about it, and yeah, as long as my body can support me competing at the world's highest level, yeah, let's go.
I'm a bad journalist. I don't have it in front of me. How many UFC fights do you have right now?
This was my 15th.
All right, so only 16, 17 for the tie and 18 for the win. Only three more, maybe.
Yeah, some at least 5 more. um yeah, something like that.
I love it, man. I love it.
But
And I
let's
have
see, as long as it works out as it's mostly done, I'm just gonna keep going.
I got a couple questions for you, and then I'll get you out of here, Nicholas. Number
No
one,
stress.
top of your division, got some noise. Islam beat JDM. My question is, who at welterweight can beat Islam? Anybody?
I mean, I usually say that on the right day, anybody in the top 20 could take the title.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but of course, Islam is very very good, and he's very well rounded. Maybe even better than Khabib was.
Mm.
It's difficult. I feel like sometimes, especially lately, there's been a lot of shakeups in the division
Yeah.
where people that I did not expect winning won. I don't know, man. I feel like at the moment it's a bit of a toss up, and it would come down to who's making things click on the day. But yeah, Islam looks very, very well rounded. So no matter who it is, it's gonna be difficult. But anybody can do it, I think.
Well, if you were a matchmaker, who would you give next to Islam? Would it be Ian Gary, Shavkat Rakhmonov, Carlos Prates, Michael Morales?
What was the third name you mentioned?
Ian Gary, Shavkat, Michael Morales, or Carlos Prates?
I think Shafkat would be interesting
Yeah.
to see like two grappling, wrestling heavy guys face each other. That would be interesting. Yeah, that would be the
I,
one I'd make.
I agree. I think Shavkat's injured for another couple months, but I think that
Yeah.
would be the fight to make.
Yeah.
And my last question, this is interesting. This is another big fight that got announced is Paddy Pimblett versus Justin Gaethje, UFC
Yeah.
324 for the interim lightweight. The reason this is interesting, I don't know if you remember this, but I'm going to put something on screen here. This is from 8 years ago on Reddit. Somebody asked you thoughts on Paddy Pimblett as a fighter. You, Nicolas Dalby, responded, he's a rough gem. If he can close some of the holes, I feel he has in this game, he has the world in front of him. So 8 years ago, you
Yeah.
said this on Reddit and predicted Paddy Pimblett's success.
Yeah.
How did you? Oh, hold on, let me fix that. There you go. How did you know?
Well, we came up through Cage Warriors, not necessarily together, but we kind of shared some of the same fight
Sure.
cards and fight nights, and we have the same manager. So, he was always in my peripheral vision. So I noticed him, and he looked like a guy who had great talent, and he's really showed that, and now he's getting a fight for the interim title. I'm very happy for him.
But can he beat Justin Gaethje? That's a tough fight.
I mean, I feel like really Paddy has positively surprised at least me and maybe a lot of other people
Me too.
in all of his fights. I not to discredit him, but I'm not sure I'd imagined him getting to the level he is at now. But he just keeps rising to the occasion, and that's very inspirational and motivational for me. So I won't count him out. Like I actually think he can find a way. He seems very cerebral, and he has a good fight IQ, and he seems like he pieces together his training camps and preparations very, very well. So considering that, I could not easily, but I could see him for sure taking out Gaethje.
It's a great fight. I'm excited for that one. The end of the year has all great fights, but maybe most importantly, I hope we get some Nicolas Dalby fight news pretty soon. Nicolas, before I get you out of here, one, thank you very much for the time. I love this talk. And two, anything for your fans? If so, the mic is yours.
Thank you, and thank you for having me on. For the fans, I feel like I get so much love every time I fight and every time I don't. I just really appreciate the support. As I said earlier in this interview, I don't do this to get my work days displayed for the whole world to watch, and I'm just I'm just being as much of myself or as much myself as I can be. And I appreciate all the comments and DMs from people appreciating the subjects I talk about and what I represent. That means a lot to me. So I appreciate that a lot.
Well, as a fan myself, we thank you for the exciting fights, and we look forward to many more. So, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. Hopefully, some fight news soon after the holidays for Nicolas Dalby. But Nicolas, thank you so much. Be well and kick
Thank
some
you.
ass. All right.
You too.